अच्छा जी, बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। स्टार्ट करते हैं हम विद द हॉलमार्क्स ऑफ साइंटिफिक रिसर्च। ठीक है, तो आई ऑलरेडी डिस्कस द कॉन्सेप्ट बिफोर that hallmarks are basically the distinguishing characteristic. The characteristics, on the basis of these characteristics, you can distinguish any research from the ordinary research to the scientific research. So basically if these 8 hallmarks are there, so it qualify for the scientific research. ठीक है, so this is the qualification for a scientific research. What are these hallmarks? Purposiveness, rigor, testability, replicability, precision, confidence, objectivity, generalizability, parsimony. You can remember all of them through this progress PPT, and in that you see they are not sequential. ठीक है, so you can remember anyhow. Purposiveness can be on the second number or the first number, no problem. Okay, let's begin with the one by one understanding them. So purposiveness is when you have an objective of a research. When you have objective of a research, for example, increasing employee commitment is an objective. You want to conduct a research through which you want to solve the employee commitment problem. ठीक है, or you want to increase performance level of the organization employee or the organization employees. So you see there is a purpose. Developing and adding in the body of knowledge through theory development, theory testing, etc. So these can be as we already discussed, there are 2 kinds of research, applied or basic research. So in both researches you need to have the purposiveness. Okay, the beginning few lines are the example of the applied research, in which you want to improve the existing problem, solve the existing problem. Okay, the turnover can be the problem, or employee commitment can be the challenge. So your objective is to solve this problem, or your objective is to solve the expected problem which may occur sometime. So you increase the body of knowledge. So the purpose is to increase the body of knowledge. ठीक है, as I already mentioned, what is body of knowledge? Body is the existing literature, existing research already done by the different researchers. So this is called the body of knowledge. For example, if you conduct any research, and you get it published, so it will be part of the body of knowledge. ठीक है, and if you want to increase the body of knowledge, so you contribute somehow. So every researcher basically contribute to the existing body of knowledge. ठीक है, okay, let's move ahead. Rigor is basically how thorough the study is. For example, good theoretical base and sound methodological design would add rigor to the purposive study. Theoretical base and methodological design. Theoretical base, we already discussed the concept of theory. Do you remember them? The concepts in which I discussed there are different kinds of theory. You must use theory to develop a hypothesis, and then you determine, measure, collect data, and analyze and recommend the results, interpretation of the results. In the hypothetical deductive method, we discuss all of the things. So basically, theoretical base must be there. Theoretical base, I want to elaborate a little bit for you. For example, there's a theory of planned behavior. So the theory of planned behavior says that any consumer may intend to buy a product, ठीक है, when he has an attitude, he has a perceived control on his actions, and he also has social norm. Social norm is also affecting him. So the three things, when three things are there, then only intention to buy a product would be there. So that this is the example of theoretical base. There is a theory, there is a concept behind it. Or I would like to give another example in which you see stimulus organism response. This is one of the theory in which you provide stimulus to a consumer, and due to the stimulus, consumer respond accordingly. It fulfills the effects of the promotions, sales, etc. So basically the theoretical concepts are there. Okay, and methodological design means there must be a rigorous methodological design, means the design of the research must be scientific. For example, the sample must be calculated through in a scientific manner, and the data must be collected with some scientific technique, sampling technique. And when you collect the data with objectively. Let me elaborate the concept of objective. Objective measure is when you give choice to the respondent. For example, you enjoy taking RMS class, research methods class, you enjoy. Strongly disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. Okay, so you may select a one as per your choice. This is an objective measure. So what we are doing, we are objectively collecting the data. Okay? Subjective, that is the opposite of objective, is when I ask, tell me what do you think about RMS class. So you may write a paragraph or so. So that is subjective. Okay? So we go in an objective manner. We ensure that we go in an objective manner, and we proper analyze the data. We collect the data scientifically, we proper analyze the data, then we come to the conclusion. So this is the methodological part, this is the theoretical part, and it adds actually rigor in that. Carefulness, scrupulousness, degree of exactitude in research, it adds. For example, if you want to research, if the company has 10,000 employees, and I collect the data only from 10 employees, so do you think would it suffice for the whole organization? No, it will not represent 10,000 employees. So when you have the good number of sample, when you have a good number of sample size, then only you can say that the methodology is correct, scientific. So true representation is very, very important for the generalization of the research. For the generalization of the research, the true representation is important. So rigor basically ensure the external validity of your research. When your research is standard, it has rigor. So through rigor, basically you achieve the standard, and it can be replicate, it can be generalized to multiple different contexts. Or we may discuss this later, but I just want to give you a little overview of this. First, you need to know the ontology, epistemology, methodology, method, and source. Ontology is what exists, what is there exist, and how can we learn that. Okay? And how can we learn that, and what is the way we can learn. Source, the tool of learning. So we will be discussing this in detail. I just introduce you with the concept everything has to be in a standard manner. Every concept has some philosophy. You cannot do by your own. Okay, this is one of the important rigor. Let's talk about the testability. Testability is very, very important because, as I already mentioned while I was teaching the hypothesis, that there is no concept of hypothesis until you test it. In that I gave you example that can we test the hypothesis God created this universe? Can we? No, we cannot. If we cannot, then we can never make this hypothesis. So testability is important. When there is no testability, there is no concept of scientific research. After random selection, manager and researcher develop certain hypotheses on how manager-employee commitment can be enhanced. Then these can be tested by applying certain statistical tests to the collected data for the purpose. If the scientific analysis of the data supports the hypothesis, it is accepted as a fact. So what does that mean? It means first you need to identify the variable through problem statement, which we already discussed a little. When we identify the variables which are the factors in the problem, for example, customer switching is a problem. What are the factors which are affecting the customer switching? So we need to study what are the variables. For example, we have found 4 variables out of it. So while making hypothesis, we need to develop the relationship. We need to test the relationship. So relationship must be based on the theory, as we just studied, and it must be tested. It must be tested. If it is not testable, then there is no science behind it. So we ensure the testability of that. Understood? Okay, let's move ahead. Replicability. So what do we mean by replicability? What is the literal meaning of replicability? Means same. Okay, let's see what is there. It means that the results of test of hypothesis should be supported again and yet again. It means that the results of the test of hypothesis should be supported again and yet again when the same type of research repeated in other similar circumstances. The results must be same. It means the results must be same. The study concludes that participation in decision making is one of the most important factors that influencing commitment. We will place more faith and credibility in this finding and apply this situation. To the extent that this does happen, we will again confidence in the scientific nature of our reasons. Every object is attracted to the center of the earth. So what does that mean? It means whatever results we have found through our research must be same results must be found when someone else does in the same environment, in the same context provided. Okay? If the context is changed, the situation is changed, then the result will not be same, and that is what we are not expecting. Okay? What we are expecting in the replicability is in the same situation, in the same context, we get the same results. Okay? Let's move ahead towards the precision. Precision is how precise, how close you are to the target. How close you are to the target. Closeness. Okay? For example, if you take, let's take an example that there is a population of 100 people, and you take the data from all and you get the results. But instead of 100, you have the 100,000 people. So we don't have resources to take the data from everyone. So what we do, we go for the sample. So what is here is through sample whatever result you get must be close to the population output. Sample output must be close to the population output. Get it? So that is the precision, that how close you are to the target. It reflects the degree of accuracy and exactitude of the result of the sample. If supervisor estimated the number of production days lost during the year due to absenteeism between 30 and 40 as against the actual of 35. Okay, so we say, let me give you the example over here. When we say that 30 to 40, okay, and 34 to 36, which would have more precision? Which one? देखें, the precision of estimation more favorable if he has indicated that the loss of production days was somewhere between 20 and 50. What is the chances of correct answer? Will we have more chances in this or in that? Exactly. This is mine. Now you got it me right. This has more precision. ठीक है? Okay. Let's take another example. When we say that people get, your class would get 70 to 90 marks. Instead, if I would say your class would get 80 to 85 marks. What is the chances of my close to the result, actual result? Would I have more chances in here or here? In this? Okay, understood? This is precision. When we talk about the confidence refers to the chances that our estimations are correct. Okay, what is the chances of our estimations are correct? Okay, we talk about the chances. When we say 95% chances, what does that mean?
95% confident.
Shabash. We are 95% confident. What does that mean? It means if we conduct the experiment 100 times, 95 times we would get the same results and we are confident. But 5 times we are accepting this. And how come this 95% is there? No statistician may say 100%. Why? I discussed it over here and in the last class as well. Why we are not 100% sure? Just for learning, why not? We are 100% sure. Any idea? Exactly. There is a chance of error. Whenever we work upon the sample, we have a chance of error. So we can never say that we are 100% sure. If someone say he is lying to you, that is why you might have witnessed the advertisement in which they say 99.9%. Your dandruff, you will have dandruff free hair. Why don't they say 100%? So they cannot claim 100%. It can be challenged by the Competition Commission of Pakistan, I guess. So what does that mean? It means whenever we talk about the sample, we have the chances. So in the medical research, we have more than 99% chance. When we test any medicine, we say 99%. This is when we talk about the management science, okay, business studies, we go with the 95%. It's good. We also accept the 90%, but preferable is 95%. 5%. Got it? So these are the two very important concepts. Here I would like to give you a very good example of Socrates. Socrates, what happened? Once the student of Socrates came to him, okay, sir, you have been nominated, you have been selected as the most intelligent person on this earth. Socrates said, really? I don't know why, but I think I know myself very well. That is why. So this is the confidence. And he is acclaiming that I know myself. The very intelligent person is the one who says that I know myself. He is not claiming that I know this, that, everything. No. He is saying I know myself very well. So how humble he was and how intelligent and how smart he was. So confidence is very important. That whatever you say, you must stand by it. So in our research, we say 95% we are confident. And that is called a good research, not a bad research, good research. Okay, let's move ahead. The other hallmark is objectivity. I already discussed the objectivity in detail, but still I would like to tell you that objectivity is when we talk about the actual data, when we talk about the facts, not a subjective emotional values. See over here,
So when we talk about that,
when we talk about the data, facts, real values. Okay, so over here you see in objectivity we cannot fit the emotions, the perceptions. So science, the pure science research does not accept our research as a true scientific research. Okay, because of this objectivity. Objectivity, the conclusion drawn through the interpretation of the results or data analysis should be objective. That they should be based on the facts of the findings derived from the actual data, not on our subjective emotional values. Okay, so we try to get the data in the quantitative research. We try to get the data through the close-ended questions, so that we can be more objective. So this is the point. Is it clear? Same thing. If we had a hypothesis that stated that greater participation in decision making will increase organizational commitment, and this was not supported by the results, it makes no sense if the researcher continues to argue that increased opportunity for employee participation will still help. So it is saying that if the results are against your hypothesis, so it means your hypothesis is rejected, and you have to accept as a researcher that my hypothesis is rejected. That is why we always develop the two hypotheses. Very interesting point, I'm telling you. We always develop two hypotheses, H0, H1, and it is called null and it is called alternate. Please write it down. It is called alternate because I will be evaluating you on this. Null and alternate. And the concept of null and alternate is, we always say, as a researcher, we always say that one of the hypotheses is correct and one is false. It is known, it is unknown. It is unknown. Okay? So
one of the hypotheses is right and the other one is wrong.
one of the hypotheses is correct and we already know it. One of the hypotheses is made by ourselves. So we are going to test it. Unknown. It is unknown. one hypothesis is known, other one is unknown. So we always say there are two hypotheses. And every researcher accepts that there are two hypotheses. So you might have not seen H naught in any research, but whenever they write like this, it means it is alternate hypothesis. So there is always alternate hypothesis and we work upon it. For example, we say that motivation improves the performance. Motivation improves performance, and that is already known. So in our context, we are curious to know that is it correct in our context as well or not, because there is a different literature about it. So we go for it. That is there a relationship between motivation and improvement in performance? So this is. So you see, researcher is researching on this and also saying that this is already known. And whenever this hypothesis is rejected, he is good about it. No problem. Researcher say, okay, since I am a researcher, no problem. So this is the concept, objectivity. We cannot make any hypothesis proof. The data prove it. And we stand by it as a researcher. We are unbiased. Okay? We go with the data. Whatever data say, if data say that there is no relationship in the motivation and improvement in performance, we say, good, accept it. If data say no, there is no relationship, we go by it, rejected, and this is accepted. So you see, in any context, one hypothesis has to be true. Getting a point? One hypothesis has to be true. Either motivation improves the performance or motivation does not improve the performance. Both hypotheses can never be true in any context at once. This is the concept of research, in which you go objectively. You are not biased. You start with the concept of what already known and what you are going to know. Okay, let's move ahead. Any questions so far? Okay, let's move ahead. Generalizability. When we say generalizability, it refers to the scope of applicability of the research findings in one organization setting to other settings. Now you see, there may be little confusion in the replicability and generalizability. So they are very, the students get confused between them, but you will not, inshallah. Why? I am telling you. If a researcher's findings that participation decision making enhances organizational commitment are found to be true in a variety of manufacturing, industrial and service organization, and not just in the particular organization studied by the research, then the generalizability of the findings to the organization setting is enhanced. The more generalizable the research, the greater the usefulness and value. You see, when we talk about the concept of generalizability, we say that this research is applicable to the whole industry. Okay? Whole industry. For example, education sector. When we conduct a research on the education industry, private sector particularly, and we come to the conclusion. So the same conclusion can be if the research is done by another private institution. This is the concept of generalizability. Another example, if FMCG companies are considered, or the data has been taken by the FMCG industry and conducted research scientifically, so it means any country's FMCG industry can be generalized in the same context. Context must be same. For example, that could be the developing country, not the developed country. Important. That is why I am emphasizing the context. Context is very important. And when we talk about the replicability is when we say that the research is replicate in the same context. Okay? It can be replicated in the same context. We are not talking about the whole industry. Instead, we are talking about a company. For example, we are saying that Nestle India, for example, the Unilever India, saying that because this research is conducted in Unilever Pakistan, so we can refer to that and we can apply the results of it. Okay? Same research. Same. Generalizability example is when HEC is making some decision, or Pakistan Industrial Council is making some decision. So they can use the research of FMCG industry and they can make policies about it. Getting a point? So when we talk about generalizability, we talk about the whole industry, the whole sector. When we talk about the replicability, it is replicable to any company. Got it? Okay. Okay, let's move it. Is it clear? My point are clear? Now you guys, you have to read at home. The book must be purchased by you. I'm keep telling you. Because I go with the book. If you do not read the book, you will not ace in my paper. Okay? Lectures. See, I want to build your theoretical aspect of the research. Okay? A skill I will be building with the examples, with the discussion questions, with the cases. Okay? But this is the theoretical part. So I want you to understand the theory well, so that you can better understand the research. You are not technician that who works very well on the Excel. You must know how to conduct a research. You are not a statistician. You are a business researcher who can develop any research, who can not only analyze the data, who can develop the whole research. The hypothetical derivative method which we studied, all the steps you can conduct by yourself. In fact, if you cannot do the analysis of any research, this is not a problem, you know. In any forum, in any part of the world, if you present your research and you say, I take the help in the analysis by this statistician, it is allowed. But you cannot take the help in developing the idea and identifying the problem. No. Yes, the research fellows or the authors, multiple authors can conduct a research. That is a separate thing. But you cannot take help out of the multiple authors. Very important. Okay? So that is why I am developing the concepts of the research theoretical way. Okay, let's move ahead. Parsimony. Parsimony is very easy concept. Parsimony is when you are simple. You have to be very simple actually. Scientific research has to be very simple. If it is not simple, it means it is not useful. Simple as that. For example, if I say my lecture quality, my students' learning of research method, I am trying to gauge the students' learning of research method. So there can be multiple factors. There can be myriads of factors which can impact student learning. But what science say, Hallmarks say, you have to be careful. pick only the critical factors and work upon them. Okay, so 2 to 3 are good enough. When you have 2 to 3 factors, you can improve the status quo. You can improve the students' learning. Otherwise, you get confused. For example, you are a manager and you are told that by doing 10 important things, you can improve your customer service. So after looking at the list of 10, you would say it is not useful. I cannot do all of the 10. So the second question would be of yours, okay, can you prioritize as per their importance? The second question would be. And you will be still confused because there are many. So the point is, when you have 3, so among 3 you would choose as per your resources, as per the possibility, you go for that. For example, customer switching, which is packaging, okay, packaging, advertisement, sales training. These are the 3 factors which are researched by the researcher. So you see, parsimony say this is the max, you go for that. Do not go for more factors. For example, we can go with the number of sales personnel, okay, quality of the product, okay, quantity of the product, okay, price of the product, or many. Parsimony says no, don't go like this. You have to go maximum 3. So this is the parsimony, and it is very effective actually. And I found it very useful since I have been in the research for 8 years. So I found it very useful. In fact, I suggest students go with the research which has few variables. And you see the many researchers, top journals publish the research of few variables. They do not publish, mostly they do not restrict actually, but most of their researches, published researches, have few variables. Okay, let's solve this. This is a scenario. Okay, in this scenario you see you have to, let me show another one. I think its fonts are better. Okay? So I want you to read it. Okay? And apply how percentage all of the 8 hallmarks are being followed by this research. What percentage? You see, what percentage all of the 8 hallmarks are being followed by this research. Got it? Okay, hurry up, start doing this.